Step 2. Find divisions inside your current company. So once you've found that 9 to 5 job, find divisions inside your company that pay the most money. And there are two sources that are best for doing this. The first source is go on Google and type in your company's name plus 10K report. So what is a 10K report? A 10K report is a government mandated required document that all public companies, so if you work for a big company on Wall Street, right, that has a stock symbol that you can trade with or invest in, all the public companies and even some private companies, if they have over 500 stockholder options, right, are required by the government to disclose their financial status. This is a document that's publicly available, but most companies won't promote this to their internal employees that publicly. So you have to go out there and hunt for it on Google. Right? So type in your company's name plus 10K report. And in this document, the company, they won't BS you. They won't try to add a marketing spin to it because the government won't let them. Right? They have to disclose their finances. So in documents like this, company will say, hey, this department is doing really, really well, making this much money per year, and we plan in this current fiscal year to reinvest more money into it. Or this document will say things such as, this current department is not doing so well. And if it keeps up, we may have to lay people off, take money out of it, and do other things, right? So this will give you an inside tip, right? An inside tip, and you can know where the puck is going and skate to it, right? Or you can either skate to the puck or know where the puck is going. So current employees usually are skating to the puck, but this document right here will show you where the puck is going. So by the time it goes there, you're already there waiting. All right. So how did I personally use this? So for example, I used to work in a department of ours called analytics. But looking at this document for IBM, for example, I noticed that, hey, IBM is really doing great in the cloud, and it broke down the growth, right? And that's one of the key things about this, right? You want to go to a department that's trending upwards. Department with the most growth usually make the most money, right? So me, I work in sales, and in sales we get paid based on commission, right? And I noticed that IBM, the growth in our cloud business was somewhere like 60% per year over year. But the growth in our analytics business was only 10% per year. So guess what? Which business is more important to IBM at this point, right? This could be your company, my company, right? So having these different departmental breakdowns based on objective metrics and knowing where money is being invested and divested and being moved around, you can then, as a millennial, say, okay, you know what? This seems to be a very strategic initiative for our company. Since this is where the money is, so maybe I should transfer to this department. The second source is checking sites like glassdoors.com or H-1B data sites that show you salaries for H-1B visa holders. Because according to the government, any employee who's on an H-1B visa, who are basically immigrants coming to America, the government has to disclose their salary. So you can find out how much money they actually make. So if you use these two sites, right, H-1B data sites and glassdoors.com, you can find out what departments in your company make the most money. So you use those resources in addition to the 10K report to figure out, hey, there seems to be lots of money in sales. According to Glassdoor, lots of people are making huge commissions, right? That's what happened with me. I was a former sales engineer. I was technical. Right? I was on the engineering team or the IT team or tech team. Right? But I noticed, hey, all the account execs are really getting fat commission checks. This is where I need to be. Then I talked to my coworkers who work in sales. Like, yeah, dude, last year I got 2 checks for 100 grand commission. So I made over 300 grand last year. Right? I talked to my friend who told me that, my coworker, and that's why I switched from being tech sales to sales. And boy, was that a good move, right? Made 200 grand last year, over 200 grand this year, right? So things like this can make or break and change how much money you make in your 20s. So I would say if you want to step your game up, follow this advice. One other thing I would like to add to that is change jobs internally or externally every 2 years. Times have changed. No longer do you have to be worried about being blacklisted for being a job hopper because you change jobs too many times. Right? Nowadays, millennials are known for changing jobs But did you know that whenever you change jobs, you get a pay bonus? On average, could be anywhere up to 10%. But the average employee who doesn't change jobs, on average, gets paid 50% less than a person who changes jobs. So think about that. So if I were you, I would ruthlessly, right, as Chris Brown said, don't be loyal, right? Ruthlessly job hop, and you'll make more money as you progress, right? So you can just simply change jobs. So with me, I'll show you how brutal it was, how ruthless I was. I was 21 savage with this, right? So my first job after being an independent contractor, my first kind of 9 to 5 job, I would say, was with Deloitte Consulting, the world's biggest consulting firm. It's a private company. On the first day of orientation, I was there, they're giving us this lecture, and I get a phone call. It was from a manager at IBM wanting to interview me for a job I'd applied like 3 months ago. They called me back 3 months later. So I'm there, first day of orientation, I get a phone call. And I'm like, there's no way I would take this call. I just accepted this offer with Deloitte. It's the first day of orientation. Deloitte was paying me 85 grand per year or whatever. Right? I'm like, I'm good right now. But I was like, hold on, before I tell them no, right? Because I think it was an email. They emailed me wanting to schedule a phone interview. So I went on glassdoors.com, saw how much the average salary was for a sales engineer at IBM. I'm like, oh snap, 120 grand? Oh boy, okay, let's do it. So I fired back that email while I'm in orientation at Deloitte, telling them, hey, yeah, sure, I'm down for the interview. All right. So over the course of those 2 months, as I'm still working at Deloitte, I was out there going on interviews with IBM, right? I was basically creeping, right? Flirting with a different company. Then once IBM gave me that job offer, it wasn't as high as I initially expected, because I had to first go through 1 year of training, but it was still higher than Deloitte. So after 2 months at Deloitte, I jumped ship to IBM, and I was making 92 grand as a trainee, right? Because I had to go through different training programs in IBM to become an IBM expert in my field, right? But still, I got a 7 grand pay bump in 2 months because I didn't turn down that opportunity that came to me, even though I had just accepted an offer. So I would say if you're out there and you want to make 6 figures, change companies, change roles, companies internally or externally every 2 years, right? Because with me, even though right now I've been with IBM going on 4 years, I've still done the same exact thing. I've been changing roles every year. I haven't been in the same role for over a year in IBM. Now, most of the time that's due to us being a huge company and having lots of changes internally, right? So I first started out as 1 year of training with IBM, which is mandated for all technical roles. Then from there, I went to the field as a sales engineer doing one product. Then a year later, my manager changed me to a different product for 1 year. Then from there, I heard that, hey, there was more money in being an account exec because I got larger commission checks. So I switched to that. That was more my effort. It was me out there forcing that or kind of influencing that, right? But I've been in so many different roles every single year. Every single time I do that, I learn new skills, which I can then add on my resume. So I'm padding my resume with new skills, constantly growing. Because after 2 years, you've really maximized that job where you're in right now. So are you really learning any new skills? So it's probably better to switch either internally or externally.